Hey, Dave Priestley here. I just wanted to share with you just some thoughts I've had on a couple of things in regards to how do we make ourselves move in a direction of change. We all have these good intentions of wanting to go from here to here, and we get to about here, and then it kind of fizzles out sometimes. We can't just quite move in that direction of change. And um, I've asked myself frequently, why? Why is that the case? I had a fellow in my office. It's been some time ago, and we was talking about this very thing in regards to finances, and we was talking about credit card debt and just different challenges that he had going on in regards to finances and what that is. And as we talked about that, he brought up the fact that his credit card debt was at $1,200 and a little change. I can't remember exactly, but so $1,200, and I remember talking to him and just kind of indicating to him, I've got to be honest with you, I'm not necessarily concerned about the $1,200, and I think it took him back a little bit. It surprised him that I would say that. And he says, well, what do you mean? And I says, well, it's what I'm really worried about is the next $1,200. I'm concerned about where you're at. Yeah, I'm not trying to minimize that, and you're here for that reason, but it's moving in a direction, and so the direction is more debt, and so I'm concerned about the next $1,200 of what that's going to look like for you and how we can overcome that. And so basically indicated that I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that we can figure this out and that we can make some little small adjustments and tweak some things that can help you so we can work on reducing that rather than allowing it to escalate. Had an individual in my office a while back as well, and in kind of another topic that came in, and this person was talking about physical exercise and wanting to be more active and wanting to engage in a more active lifestyle. And as they expressed themselves, they kind of expressed to me the fact that they weren't happy with the 40 pounds overweight that they were, and asked me my opinion on that. And so, as in that counseling setting, as we talked about those things, I just said, I just, again, kind of a repeat of what I said to the fellow in regards to the money. I just says, I'm not, honestly, I'm not really worried about the 40 pounds that you're overweight. I'm really not. And she was just really surprised when I said that. And I says, but can I be honest with you of what I am worried about? And I said, yes. And I says, I'm worried about the next 40. That's what I'm worried about. I mean, where you're at right now, you're pretty active. You can continue to do what you're doing. Things are going okay for you. You really kind of house that 40 pounds pretty good. You don't look, you look good. But I'm really concerned for the next 40. And so as we were, kind of blunt and open and honest in regards to that, but basically is really what I was saying. And is what it boiled down to as we was communicating about these things was the fact that it's the road that you're on, the path that you're moving in, the direction that you're going. And so as we identify change and motivation to make that change take place, think of it like this. It's not necessarily where you're at, it's where you're going. And where obviously where you're at is going in a direction one way or another. And it's being able to anticipate and identify what that road looks like, what that path looks like. And so if we can evaluate, sit back, think through some things a little bit and evaluate what the next would look like, what the next debt load would look like, what the next 40 pounds would look like, what the next string of missing assignments would look like, how or if I miss days of work, or whatever it might be. There's a million different scenarios that this could fit, but it's what I hope to get across and what I hope to express is something that I just see continually. People are coming in and talking to me all the time saying, I'm not quite sure how I got here. I didn't anticipate this. Things were good up until this point, and now here I am. And it could be in a number of situations that life presents us. And so as you're anticipating change, as you're moving in a direction for that, of wanting to make those things take place, just look at, kind of evaluate where you're at, and more importantly, where you're going from where you're at and what that would look like. It might give you some real good motivation to identify a little deeper into the need to adjust and make some changes take place. Again, my name's Dave Priestley, and from Priestley Mental Health. We gladly answer any questions that you might have, but just encourage you to take kind of a little self-analysis and kind of evaluate really where you're at in regards to change, but take a closer look at the direction that you're going and anticipate, what's coming. And it's a pretty good tool in helping us make change take place in our lives.